Hello and welcome to the Travel Nurse YouTube channel. My name is Abdul. Um, in as much as job descriptions differ per countries and per geographical locations, shift patterns and the scope of work also do differ and at times have a lot of similarities. Today I want us to have a look at a day or a day in the life of a registered nurse in the United Kingdom, i.e. the shift pattern, what is expected of you when you are on shift. I mean, the things that you do, your day-to-day activities, and I'll look at a typical shift, how it goes. So that is what we are going to look at briefly. So stay with us. I take a short breather and I will think. Welcome back. As I rightly said, we are going to look at the shift pattern, scope of work, and even in the UK, it depends on the setting in which you work, i.e. either you are working in a care home, you are working in a nursing home, you are working in a hospital. Even the hospital, if you are working on an acute medical ward or working in an A&E, or you are working in a mental health setting. Even in the mental health setting, it depends on if you on whether you are working on acute mental or high secure or low secure, medium secure, even a rehab ward. So we will start with an overview of the shifts in the UK. Usually they were also using the traditional shift pattern of 3 shifts within a day, where workers will come to work around 7 a.m. You end your shift at 1 p.m. Others come at 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. and then they end at 7:30 in the evening. Others come at 9 p.m. and end 7 a.m. in the morning. Then that's changed to some trusts or some hospitals, making it more flexible, accommodating the 9 to 5, where you will have to work from 9 in the morning to 5 in the evening. But with this, you will have to work 5 days in a week and have 2 days off, because the typical shifts within a week or working hours within a week has to be 37.5. Others will let you work per your contract that you sign, 39 hours per week. Others are working 40 hours per week. So if you are doing the 9 to 5 times 5, then obviously you are hitting the 40-hour mark. Then we have the long shift, where it's now common. That is the order of the day now. You have to work a 12-hour shift. Others work 12.5. Others even work 11 or 11.5. So there are instances where you will come to work at 7 in the morning and end at 7 in the evening. Others come 7 in the morning, they end at 8. Others come 7:30 in the morning and 8 p.m. in the evening. In between these are breaks. And again, when you are doing a long shift, then it means you are working 3 days in a week and you're going to have 4 days off. Other trusts or other hospitals will let you work alternate the number of days you work within a week. For instance, when you work 3 days in this week, then the following week you are going to work 4 days in the week. Then the next week you work 3 days in a week, then you have 4 days off. The breaks again deals with your contracts. There are places where you have 2 breaks when you are running a longer shift, i.e. you have when you are running a 12-hour shift, you come in the morning before noon, you take a 30-minute break. So depending on the staff on shift, you rotate your breaks. Someone can go from 9 to 9:30, you go from 9:30 to 10 to 10:30, in that manner. Then in the afternoon for lunch, you have a 40-minute or 45-minute break. There are some hospitals that within your 12-hour or 12.5 hour shift will give you an hour break. Others give an hour and a half. Others give an hour and 45 minutes. So what I've realized is that anyone who is spending an hour and 45 minutes as a break is not paid. That break is not paid. So you do a 12-hour shift, but on your timesheet, you are going to be paid for 11 hours. Others give you the break and pay the break again. So you just do your 12-hour shift, you have your 1 hour break, and you get paid for the 1 hour break. So anything in excess of your allocated break time is not paid. So these are the dynamics in the break. So it is very it is recommended, or it is advisable, that when you're running a longer shift here, you have to have enough rest before you go to job. You have to prepare well, both physically and psychologically, to keep you active or keep you useful within these hours. So these are a bit unusual from the three pattern shifts that you might know from your home country, where you run a morning shift, you run an afternoon shift, and an evening shift. So now in the UK, mostly it's just the 12-hour shift. Either you are running a day shift or a night shift. As I said, the 9 to 5 is there, but it's based on special arrangements. But it is very common with those in managerial roles. If you're a ward manager or a clinical service manager, then you work 9 to 5, 5 days in a week, and you have 2 days off. A typical nurse, you will have to arrange with your ward manager or a clinical services manager if you want to work 9 to 5, where you will have only 2 days off in a week. So that also goes to limit your chances of having to do an overtime. The 12-hour shift isn't that hectic. It is long. You are not used to it, but when you come, you quickly adjust to it, because it is not that tedious as it might seem. But at the beginning, you must struggle a bit, but as time goes on, you will be fine. Now let's look at what is expected of you when you come on shift. What is expected of you when you come on shift? Depending on you might be working in a very big hospital, okay, but your ward will typically have like 20 patients, 30, 25, 35, in that manner. And when you happen to work in a setting where you have a very good staffing, then with a 25 bed capacity or 25 patients, then you are going to have a rating of around 5 nurses, usually, depending on where you are working. So when you have 5 nurses on shift, then you can have support workers, which is the HCAs, or what some of you term the healthcare assistants. So with these 25 patients, when you come on each shift, each staff or each registered nurse is being allocated to a certain number of patients. So for instance, you can be allocated to 5 patients out of these 25. So you will be responsible for their care. I'm talking about the general hospitals with the NHS. That is how it works. So you will have 5 patients that you'll be allocated to. You have to take care of all their physical observations. That is all vital signs that will be checked on them. You are going to do that, but you'll be delegating some of the tasks to a support worker you'll be working with. You will be serving the medication of these 5 people, doing all their fluid intake and output. If they have any appointments, be it CT scan or any diagnostic investigation, laboratory investigation, you will facilitate that. And about what happens that you are done with yours and a patient is being allocated to a colleague of yours, and due to 1 or 2 reasons the colleague is not able to finish on time, then you will give a helping hand. At the end of your shift, these are the 5 patients that you are going to write a nursing report on. Then subsequently, the in charge of that shift will do the handing over to the incoming staff. So that is always so. In as much as it's a longer shift, It might seem long, like 12 hours or 12.5. You are not going to take care of all the 30 or 25 patients on the ward. You are allocated to a number of patients for you to take care of. That is it. Those who will be working in care homes or nursing homes, typically you don't have enough or more nurses on that ward. You might be the only nurse on that shift, or 2 or 3. So if there are 10 or 20, then you divide amongst yourselves. Then you delegate some of the tasks to the support workers or healthcare workers there. There are places where you work, especially in the mental health settings, where you have only 2 nurses on shifts. One nurse will be the nurse in charge, and the other nurse will be the medication nurse. So the medication nurse is going to serve the medication for all those patients on the ward, 20 or 25. You do their morning, afternoon, evening meds. The in charge takes care of delegating other tasks, writing reports, and doing more of the official works. Again, with the support, patients are being allocated. You are not going to write on all the 25 because you said their medication. No. Allocations will be done to nurses and carers on the ward, maybe 3, 4, 4, or 5, 5, depending on your staffing. I must hasten to add that there are instances where, especially those of you who will be doing locum or be doing overtime or be picking agency work, there are places where you go and the staffing is very poor, that you might be the only nurse on shifts, and or 2 of you on shift, and you will have to write on 10 patients or 12 patients the max, because probably there are 24 or 30 patients or only 2 nurses, and you have to divide it among yourself. And I must say, these places do pay higher. They do give you higher rates. You can get 30-35 pounds per hour, but the body will suffer. So that is it. So when you come, you look at it, this is the overall view of what to expect on a normal day shift. You do your change of infusions, you do your monitoring of input and output, you serve medications to your allocated nurses, again depending on where you are working. So the 12-hour shift is not something scary. In fact, some of us are really enjoying it compared to what we're doing back home, where you either work morning, come at 8, close at 2, or come 2, close at 8. Then when you come in the night, you have to stay. This, you work just 3 days in a week. You have 4 days to yourself to do other things. And it isn't like when you come on the 12-hour shift, you are the one doing all the jobs. At least patients are allocated to various carers on the ward, and it tends to make things a bit easier. So this is basically how the shift, what to expect on your usual shift, and what to expect in terms of the working hours and the breaks in between, and how you survive. I might do a second video interviewing someone to also give an account of their experience here, and in terms of the differences in the shift pattern. Thank you very much for watching. And I said, if this is the first time you are watching us, kindly subscribe and hit the notification button. If you've been with us since day one, thank you very much for all the support. Keep your questions and inquiries coming. I'll try as much as I can to respond to them. And I repeat again, my WhatsApp contact that I do share is not for direct calls. It's only for WhatsApp. Do leave your messages, and I will try as much as I can to answer them. Thank you, and God bless you.